This is Charleston, South Carolina, where remnants of the past linger on every corner. It's home to more than 400 churches, their symbols of faith etched into the horizon.
Charleston is referred to as the Holy City simply because of its number of churches. During the days of the American Revolution and such, it was considered a place of relative religious freedom for groups such as the French Huguenots, the Catholics, and even the Jews.
And tucked away near the Charleston Harbor stands Mother Emmanuel, an AME church whose history stretches back to the days of slavery. The congregation settled here in 1891 and became a beacon of hope during the 1960s, advocating civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr.
I don't see the answer to our problem in riots. So my slogan is not burn, baby, burn. My slogan is build, baby, build. Organize, baby, organize.
He told the audience, I believe consistently in nonviolence. From a moral point of view, this isn't the way. From a practical point of view, this isn't the way.
Mother Emmanuel listened, and through the years, they lived and preached in love, acting as agents of peace in times of disunity. Then hate challenged their resolve.
All units responding, 110 Calhoun State.
Give me at least 4 medic units.
June 17, 2015, members of Mother Emmanuel welcome a stranger into their Wednesday night Bible study. An hour later, that stranger opens fire.
Respond to incident 10, incident 10.
I copy several victims, advising of an active shooter, multiple people down.
One of the men in the Bible study was Reverend Daniel Simmons Sr., a church staff member and beloved grandfather of 4.
My dad called me and told me, hey, I might be going to Charleston. There was a shooting at your grandfather's church. Whether he was there or not, I'm on my way. I got home, I turned on CNN, and it was like breaking news. I was watching and praying all night. We really didn't want that to be him.
Daniel Simmons was a Vietnam War vet and 4th-generation preacher. He answered to the name Dan, but those at Mother Emmanuel knew him as Super Simmons.
My grandfather was a very strong individual. He was very strong-willed, and it was hard to convince him of anything that he didn't already know. In the same respect, I would say that he was very strong in his faith. In his home, we saw like a stack of sermons that he just written out. He had a sermon for almost anything that you can think of. He loved the AME Church. I don't think that he would have preferred to be any other place, knowing how much he loved to study the Bible.
At 9:05 this evening, we received a call of a shooting that had occurred at the church here on Calhoun Street. There were 8 deceased individuals inside of the church.
But the 9th victim, Alana's grandfather, was still breathing. He suffered multiple gunshot wounds and was rushed to the hospital. As Alana waited to hear if he had made it through surgery, the reality of what had happened began to sink in.
Police are still looking for the shooter. He's described as a clean-shaven white male in his early 20s.
The only reason someone could walk into church and shoot people praying is out of hate.
The Department of Justice has opened a hate crime investigation into this shooting incident.
How did this happen? Why did this happen? I can't believe this happened. They're God's people. I wanted him to be able to survive this situation. I wanted to be able to just talk to him one more time.
Hours later, Alana got another call. Her grandfather didn't make it. And 8 victims became 9.
I was devastated to lose someone to a race crime like that, especially in the middle of prayer. It makes you angry to think that we're still in that same place of hatred that we were years and years ago.
The suspected gunman has been identified as 21-year-old Dylann Roof. He was captured just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. 12 hours after opening fire on an historic black church.
The only thing that I could pray for was peace for my family and for the city. Racial tensions rise and the community is divided. That's what I expected.
And I will tell you, there's a lot of prayer in this state. And so you are going to see all of us try and lift these 9 families up in prayer because they need us.
The blood of the mother Emmanuel 9 requires us to work.
The world cannot understand why we're not crying at this moment, why we're not bitter.
2 days after the shooting, a bunch of us marched to Mother Emmanuel. We were clapping and singing spirituals like, "Victory is mine, victory is mine, victory today is mine." As we were getting up to the church and singing these songs, we heard this foreign sound coming from the middle of the street. And we turned around. The Jewish community of Charleston made a circle in the middle of the street and did the Kaddish, which is their Hebrew prayer of the dead, as a gesture of solidarity with us in that tragedy.
The following day, the surviving families came together for Roof's bond hearing. With emotions running high, a few of the family members approached the front of the courtroom to confront the man who had murdered their loved ones.
You took something very precious away from me. I would never talk to her ever again. I would never be able to hold her again. But I forgive you.
I forgive you and my family forgive you. But we would like you to take this opportunity to repent. Give your life to the one who matters the most, Christ.
Every fiber in my body hurts, and I'll never be the same. But may God have mercy on you.
I'm certain that at the time that my grandfather served in the Army, and at the time that he even grew up, that he was mistreated simply because of the way that he looked. He never in his life would have been the kind to harbor negative feelings. He had to forgive them so that he could go on and live in love.
And she knew there was only one way that she could truly honor his memory: by forgiving his killer.
Although my grandfather and the other victims died at the hands of hate, this is proof. Everyone's plea for your soul is proof that they lived in love and their legacies will live in love. So hate won't win.
What started as a show of forgiveness in a courtroom has now become a movement that Alana calls Hate Won't Win. It is inspiring communities all over the country, and it is all in honor of her grandfather.
To show you that I can love you and you can love me, and we can work together to better our community. That's what Hate Won't Win movement is all about. I know that he's looking down on how we've chosen to carry on his legacy, that he would be very, very proud of what we're doing.
While the tragedy within these walls will never be forgotten, the 9 lives taken out of hate live on in the hearts of those who have chosen to love.
One thing that we can say for now is that there was this city called Charleston who refused to listen to the voices of madness and chose wise counsel and handled the situation with grace and dignity.
Knowing my grandfather, he wouldn't have had it any other way. Yes, I lost my grandfather. Yes, other people lost their lives. Yes, hate brought us here, but look where love is going to take us.